Good afternoon, ladies. My name is Jacinta Davis, and today I will be discussing organ donation. I will be going over 4 topics of organ donation, with the first being why should you donate. Next, we'll discuss becoming an organ donor, followed by a process of organ donation, and last, the experience in becoming an organ donor and what influenced me. According to the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, one donor can save up to 8 lives, including heart, liver, lung, and kidney. Donors last year alone made 28,000 transplants possible. There are still 100,000 people waiting for transplants on the list. 70 people receive organ donations daily, and unfortunately, 16 people die each day due to an organ shortage. Every 11 minutes, someone's name is added to the UNOS organ donor list. Next, we'll discuss becoming an organ donor. First, you would provide a second chance at life for thousands of people each year. Also, by becoming an organ donor, you give the gift of hope and the gift of life. Becoming an organ donor, you would register online and receive your donor card. Then you will go to the local DMV to have your choice added to your driver's license. Then you should also speak with family before deciding to become an organ donor as well. The process of organ donation is as follows. At a traumatic scene, someone has suffered a head injury. They are then transported to the hospital via evac. Then once they arrive to the hospital, ER physicians will evaluate the injuries and continue life-saving measures. Then the patient is transferred to the ICU, where tests are performed for brain activity and blood flow. Following that, the donation eval takes place to evaluate organs, as well as consents for donations are obtained at that time. The patient will remain on a ventilator, which provides O2 to the major organs. The patient is then put on the organ matching system, which is also referred to as UNOS, which is United Network for Organ Sharing. They are put on that list based on their medical urgency, how long they've been on the waiting list, their geographic location, as well as their body size. My experience in becoming an organ donor and why. My mother was diagnosed with idiopathic pulmonary fibrosis, which is scarring of the lung tissue. She had less than 20% lung capacity in both lungs and was on 15 liters of oxygen daily. She was placed on a waiting list and received a phone call 5 days later stating that she was next to receive organs. 6 years after the surgery, my mother has a wonderful bill of health as well as breath again and life. The day after my mom's surgery is the day I made the decision to become an organ donor and have it initially put on my driver's license. She was confined, to know my mother was confined to her home due to her being on E4 tanks that lasted only 10 minutes on 15 liters of oxygen. It made me realize how lucky I am to look at her today and see how different she is. She received a 17-year-old's lungs from North Carolina who had been in a car accident as well. In conclusion, I have discussed becoming an organ donor, why you should become an organ donor, the process of organ donation, and last, my experience in becoming an organ donor and what influenced me. My slogan is, if you love life, give life, be an organ donor.